Thanks for your time.
Ah, the DRM, it always comes up. It's ugly.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Robin. George's going to launch me. I'm sorry. That's all right, thank you.
Oh, okay, Robin, can I say one more thing?
Sure.
I put my contact information at the end of my presentation, and what I want to say is I love talking about e-readers and e-books, and I know George does too. At the library, our information line, 6452-ASK, just call any time and ask a question, because we're there. And, you know, if you get stuck, whatever, call us. We really want to talk to you about this.
Okay, so you got the e-reader, you got the stuff, and now you're mad because you can't get the stuff you want. Why? Welcome to DRM. I like to start with two quotes. They will be a significant factor. I do think that print books are going to be around forever, a long time, until somebody can develop wireless electric, and man, I should be working on that because there is a motherload of money to be made. But I do think print will be around for a while. So we talk a lot about ebooks, we're talking about e-readers tonight, but I do think print has a place. However, publishers will continue to flourish in this as long as they keep issues in perspective. And that is the crux, that they are really worried about losing control and losing money. They've watched the music industry die. And basically this guy's saying, you know what, if they want it, you know, downloadable, audio, large print, they want it in red ink, we better provide it, you know, because the train has left the station. And we're going to touch on some of that HarperCollins stuff that just kind of came up. And this is the other quote I like. Publishers don't get it. They don't do any marketing research. They just throw stuff against the wall and hope it circulates. The only company that does any real decent marketing, and you're all going to cringe, is Harlequin. Those publishers know their readers. And people laugh at romances, and they laugh at romance readers, but those people are laughing all the way to the bank. They're the one publisher that's actually making money and doing a good job. So, again, these publishers out there that are controlling how much you can check out, it's sort of like they don't quite get it. I mean, I understand they're scared and they're nervous, but they don't get it. So, what is DRM? Kind of stole this from Columbus Metropolitan Library. We use this as kind of our official definition for our staff, but basically it is the method of restricting free use and transfer of digital content. So that whole concept of one book, one user, what that comes down to is Steve, I have to paste, sorry. Steve Potash, this is bad for taping me, I know. Steve Potash, to get these publishers not so nervous, has basically said, all right, we're going to mimic the print world in the ebook world so that you're comfortable in your release. And that's why you have the one book, one user. However, those of us who are used to electronic, you're like, that's crazy. Why can't I just have access? Here's why. If you're a writer, you want to make money. And if you just give your book away, you may or may not make money. So, you know, I don't really like DRM, but I understand it because I like reading books from writers that I like. I don't want to just read every Joe Sixpack out there that has a book in them. So I kind of understand DRM. I kind of understand publishers. And I think where we're at is, you know, it's been used over and over again. I think we're in a paradigm shift. The whole nature of how we read and how books are published is changing. And the problem is that libraries are kind of stuck in the middle. So, you may not always have the content you want. Janet Ivanovich, none of her books are on ebook. They have to go back, it's just like, and this is not new, DRM is not new in the sense that an author has to negotiate rights for their hardback, for their paperback, for their large print, for their audiobook. So those of you who really are audiobook listeners, sometimes you don't have the same, you don't get it the same time the print readers get it. If you're a large print reader, you don't get it the same time as a regular print reader. Same kind of situation here. Those authors have to go back and negotiate all those rights. Ivanovich hasn't negotiated all her rights, especially with Overdrive. I think you can get her content on Kindle, but she hasn't negotiated the rights to get it through an EPUB standard. The other big author out there, J.K. Rowling, she said she'll never let her stuff be out there in ebook format. So anybody can walk in the library and say, well, I want to read J.K. Rowling on ebook. Good luck. It's the same thing with Kindle. Jeff Bezos owns the keys to that kingdom. Why would he give them to a library? He's making a ton of money. Libraries really represent a very small portion of the money stream. And when you're talking about global, and you're talking about manufacturing, and you're talking about trying to stick these devices in kids' hands all over the world, or adults' hands all over the world, unfortunately libraries are small potatoes. And so it really is a struggle for us to try to get a voice at the table. So, DRM, you can't use Kindles with overdrive. You can't always print what you want. Again, every title is negotiated, especially if you're talking about nonfiction. Well, you can print 5 pages. This one will let you print 4 pages. This one you can't print. This one you can print everything. So, it's crazy. The control resides with the publisher. And I think that the ultimate question for those of us in the audience that are library professionals is, should we demand access for our users? And this may mean stepping aside and worrying about being a library and worrying about people having access to content, no matter what, no matter how. So, that philosophically, this brings up some really big questions about where libraries are. With providing e-content, we aren't really owning content anymore. With Overdrive, basically, it's a license. And if I walk away from Overdrive tomorrow, I don't have that content anymore. Now, we've always had that. People are like, oh my God, we don't have content. It's the same thing with our newspaper aggregators. If I walk away from EBSCO tomorrow, Eve, I don't have that EBSCO content anymore. If I walk away from Gale, I don't have that content. This is just the tipping point. Thank you. We're hitting that, and we're going to see that with more and more formats. This is not just an ebook concern. There's Freegal out there. For those of you, the Grandview, I think I saw Mary, Grandview and Upper Arlington's launched this. Freegal's a new way to provide music. And again, it's basically 3 downloads per week. Take it, it's yours. There's no DRM on that, so you can load it to all sorts of devices. So digital rights management is a thorny issue. It is a method of control for publishers. If you follow this topic at all, Cory Doctorow speaks a lot about this, and he is totally against DRM. He's like, just take it off. He has made all of his titles completely DRM free. Well, he's a technological guy. He gets it. He's out there. There's an awful lot of people like, oh no, I want to make some money because I can't even, I would like to, pay a mortgage and that kind of thing. So I don't know where we're going with DRM. The HarperCollins snafu that just came up. First of all, there are publishers who have just said, screw it, I'm not providing the libraries. Macmillan and Simon & Schuster, those are big publishers. You can't get their titles via Overdrive. They don't want to lose that control. They are worried that, libraries, we buy print, we buy it over and over. I can't tell you how many times I bought Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice, and I've heard the Macmillan CEO say that. It's like, look, I make a lot of money off a backlist. I make a lot of money off of selling the same titles over and over and over again to libraries. So that's why the publishers are particularly nervous about the library market. So Macmillan and Simon & Schuster said, well, we don't really want to play in that market. So you can get Macmillan titles from Overdrive as a consumer, but you cannot get them from a library. HarperCollins decided, well, all right, let's try this. Let's say we'll let you have the book for 26 circs, which essentially evens out to a year. But after that, it's going to expire, and you have to rebuy it. We'll charge you less, but you have to rebuy it. Okay, I can sort of see that. I do rebuy print titles, but it has made librarians pretty angry because it feels like, again, it goes back to control. These guys want to make money. They want to be able to pay their authors. I get that. I understand that. But and the thing I like about the HarperCollins snafu is it just kicked that discussion back up, and it's making everybody think about it, and it's another step down the road of how this is going to work eventually. We're really at the infancy of all of this. And so, yeah, there's going to be mistakes as we go along, but it'll be interesting to see what other publishers do. I just saw where Random House decided they're going to do the agency model, which lets the author have like 70%, I think, and then 30% goes back